Guess who's coming to Sauna? Hekilunta.
Welcome to another episode of The Upper Bench. We're glad to have you joining us again. This episode's going to be rather unique for us. So I'm looking to get forward into it. How are things going, Sam?
Yeah, doing well. My wife and I, we just hiked Table Rock Mountain yesterday, so I'm super excited to sauna later this afternoon. My back's a little tight, but I'm sure we'll talk all about the joys of taking a good sauna after I listen to this. Eero, what do we have on tap today?
Well, we got a lot of stuff going on, and what I'm very glad about that these ladies, they actually come and record this from my hometown, which is Helsinki, Finland. So we have two Finnish ladies. We have Terhi on the right, and then we have Anna on the left. And they work for a company. I believe it was started by Terhi. Am I right?
Yeah.
And you also, we're going to talk about that later. You wrote a book about saunas and sauna treatments, and this is kind of why I say this is so interesting is that that our listeners, our viewers are quite like male centric, and now this is kind of an interesting thing because we sort of like. Now talking to you, we sort of like take our discussion to a next level, like a different level, talking about all sorts of treatments and sauna as a phenomenon and so. So let's start off by like Terhi, could you tell about like how you ended up with sauna in the first place? Like what was your motivation towards what you guys do now?
Yeah. How it all started. I have a very normal sauna background as a Finn. So once a week, been in the sauna for the whole life. So very like regular background with the sauna. But like 5 years ago, I wanted to change my life, starting from the work life, from the stressful marketing career. I made a big change and started to study first massage. And then my good friend asked me that could I go with her around in public saunas in Helsinki area. So I was like, okay. And we started to go around the saunas and my eyes slowly opened for sauna as a well-being phenomena, being something really authentic Finnish well-being concept. Because I have done yoga for 20 years and all kinds of like courses around that. So I realized that we have something very precious what we haven't really utilized as a business, but also as a tool for well-being and balancing our everyday life. So in the same time with this massage study, I started to study sauna therapy. And yeah, after first weekend studying sauna therapy, I knew that this is something I want to work with. And I tried to find a good books and material and documents, and I was so surprised how they all looked same, how the whole sauna business is very masculine, and actually women used to have a big role in sauna, healing in sauna, preparing food, clothing, linen, everything in sauna. And women had in back old days, women had a very centric role in sauna, but nowadays it's quite a lot designed and facilitated by men for men. So I fell in love with sauna as a well-being phenomena and well-being concept and wanted to do something especially for women. I wanted to encourage women to come back to sauna, also to public saunas, because I wanted to ask my friends that would you come with me to public saunas, and I would say 9 of 10 said that I like to go to sauna, but I don't like public saunas. And after going around those public saunas, I realized why, because they are not designed for women.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see that.
yeah, it's interesting how that dynamic works. We last night we hosted a sauna party at our house. Some friends came into town,
Mm.
and it's a weird dynamic for us is that there were just 2 men and we sauned first, and then there were 8 women in the sauna, so it was like the opposite. But usually it definitely tends to be a male centric thing, and that's it's really too bad because women can like it just as much as everyone else. I'm going to show you a picture real quick of an old sauna photo I found of a lady lighting the smoke sauna, and she would tend to the smoke sauna. It's like one of my favorite sauna pictures.
Yes, this is really like how it was back in the days. It was the women who heat up the saunas, and the men came from the field, and then they just relaxed. But it was mainly for women who was working in the saunas and also taking care of the sauna.
That reminds me of when I was still living in Helsinki, they had the Palace Hotel had a rooftop sauna, and it was kind of amazing because that was this was I believe in the 1980s, and they actually had a washing woman there, and it was kind of a that was kind of extreme, in my little world. But so it's this. Am I wrong when I say that it's a lot about sauna therapy? Is that, could you describe that as something that is like, when to a female oriented clientele that would be important?
Yeah, and to follow up on Eero's question, was there something early on, was there a physical aspect? You mentioned that, hey, it didn't take you very long to know that sauna was your route. What was that spark, or what was that, for maybe personally, physically, what was that spark?
I felt that it was the easiest way to balance my everyday life, because that's been always the routine from kind of move from work to leisure. So we have this Saturday sauna culture, so that we used to work like 6 days a week, and every Saturday 6 o'clock we warmed up the sauna and then started the Sunday, the relaxation. So it's an easy way to move from the stressful life to relaxation, and it just felt so easy after trying everything. So like meditation can sound easy, but it's actually very difficult. But if you go to sauna, it is very meditative experience, even you don't think it that way. So
We're definitely talking more, I mean, a whole body experience, not just my back hurts, but getting people out of their, out of the doldrums of their, work-life balance.
Yeah. So sauna is affecting in so many levels in our life if we take it as a regular basis. So it's a great tool. So I have a little bit similar approach that Terhi has for taking sauna as an like a balancing way. It balances my everyday life, and my background is also I have made a career change a couple of years ago, and I had worked in also really hectic work life, and sauna wasn't nothing new. I'm a typical Finn, but sauna has been involved in my life in many different ways, not only like sauna bathing, but it has been part of our life. For example, every summer the sauna was like the center of the summer. So it was heated up in the morning, and we went there just to bathe and swim. It was like entertainment for the kids, and then afterwards we washed the dishes and like prepared some food as well. And then also taking care of the health, because we were like a little community in our summer cottage, and we always had these whisks, and we went to collect them, and also the herbal treatments were really connected in my childhood sauna. So that was really normal back then, but then somehow I got distracted by work life and went to that, and then I suddenly felt that it was something not too against on my values to sell all these products, and so I wanted to do a change. So I actually went to the forest just to do a lot of hiking, and I did a lot of sauna when I was in this phase. I quit my work and moved to another phase. So from the nature and from the sauna, I found the like really peaceful feeling. So it was the only way I could like calm my nervous system down. So it was really like working like good for my autonomic nervous system. So that's why when I went to sauna and the nature, then I started to realize that this was the thing for me that I want to do as a hobby, of course, and as a like well-being like a concept for me. But also I want to show it to the whole world what we have here. Not only the bathing, but the whole what can be related to the sauna and the sauna culture, for example, here in Finland. It's a like huge with the different kind of topics and approach.
Yeah, it's interesting. In North America, you mentioned nature.
Yeah.
In the way that we think of sauna in North America, it's usually in a gym or
Mhm.
hotel, or you buy a box that just goes in your house somewhere. There's not much connection to nature.
Yeah.
So could you describe, like, maybe for our listeners in North America, what you mean when you're talking about the connection of sauna and nature?
Yeah. So basically, I think the mental landscape for Finns when they trying to think the perfect way of taking sauna, it's by a lake or by some kind of a natural waters, and it's wood heated. So it's like a multisensory experience when you enter the sauna and you hear the wood burn, and then also there is this surrounding with this birds singing, and the water is like doing their own noise. So it's kind of it's like a mental landscape for Finns when we are thinking about the perfect way of taking sauna. So that's why the nature is so big connection to sauna, because it's basically located in the nature on the summer cottages or that kind of places.
And even those people who don't go to sauna that much,
Yes.
but if they have an opportunity to go to sauna by the lake or close to nature, they are like, of course I go to sauna now. So because that is so unique. Even it's everyday life for many people here, but it's really appreciated, the nature and sauna together. So some people go to saunas only in the summer cottages. They don't,
You know,
they don't maybe appreciate the gym saunas at all.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I almost feel like you guys are taking the Finnish style sauna to a new level, like a sauna 2.0, and we are here in North America. We are working on sauna 1.0 at this point, and I try to like I want to hear from you is like in general terms when we're talking about these treatments, what are we actually like what's the way to start this treatment thing, and remembering that like Risto here said that most of the saunas in North America are in people's basements. It's like a stereotypical thing. There's no nature anywhere close by. There's an exercising machine close by. So what do you suggest to these people? Like, how do you get into that treatment world?
Mm-hmm.
I would first say that even I have written this book, Sauna Therapy, Recipes for Well-being, but the point is not really the treatments
No.
as such, but of
Okay.
course, sauna is the point.
Mm.
But the treatments can be really easy tool to get into the sauna lifestyle. Because like I said, the meditation can be really difficult, but if you are not familiar with the sauna, also the sauna can be really a little bit weird concept and you don't really get the point, and you go to sauna and sit on the upper bench and think that how long I should be here and is this now relaxing enough, and you can feel yourself a little bit unsure what is the concept. But if you start doing really easy treatments while you go to sauna, it's more easy to focus on the moment and get into the sauna, because sometimes through the doing something you find finally the point where you don't need to do anything. And I think if you have like a body scrub or some
Even like a basic washing, when you go before you go to sauna, when you actively let your body to be allowed to calm, even you take the shower really slowly, like then autonomically when you start to go sauna regularly, it starts to calm itself down when you have teach the body to calm down actively at the beginning.
Yeah, we kind of teach our nervous system, and that's how meditation is based on, that you do the same thing regularly, every day, and you have maybe the certain sound when your meditation starts. So then your nervous system learns and to adapt to relaxation faster, and that's the way sauna also works. But there's a lot of different type of treatments. But one easy point is that we all have basic ingredients in our kitchen cupboard, so we don't need to buy anything special. And this time of the year, we can pick up fresh herbs from nature. So you can take salt and honey to the kitchen and make a body scrub or make a nice foot bath, like ice cold food bath or something. So it can be really easy. So it's not based on cosmetics or stuff like that. So there's sugar, there's oats, coffee,
Kale, onion, all kind of
a lot of stuff what we can use from cupboards and fridge.
Yeah.
So you said an ice cold foot bath?
Yes.
So how does that work?
That is really
So we call it it's an alternative temperature treatments. Here in Finland, we have like 100 years of traditions of doing this, and it's not originally from Finland like sauna is in either, because we have like so long backgrounds in the bathing overall in the world. So it's all mixed up some point. So these alternative temperature treatments are to ease your blood circulation in a sauna, for example. It can be also a hot bath that you change to a cold bath, or it can be a hot sauna where you take a cold bath for your feet, for example. So it makes you easier to take a sauna sessions if you want to stay there longer, and you're, for example, you have a low blood pressure, for example, as a natural, and sauna makes it even lower. And if you take it like a cool foot bath in the sauna, or for example, a cool towel on your head, it gives you, it makes the sauna session more pleasure.
That's really interesting. People are always trying to avoid cold feet here in North America, but to think about that, like you might want to, like there could be a place where you want to put your feet in a cold bath. Maybe even for a beginner in sauna as well, you know. But
Yeah,
like you said,
yes, it's a good one. We use it in our sauna events for the beginners that they can choose, and you don't have to like keep your feet there like the whole session, just maybe once in a while.
Yeah, that would be a good shock to the system. I mean, it's a good little jolt of cold, and it would probably get me to be able to stay in, my sauna, a little bit longer. Especially the cold towel on the head.
Oh yeah.
Something like that can always kind of relieve, that high heat feeling. Your head. That's why a lot of people wear sauna hats.
Oh yes.
Because you're doing the same thing. You're insulating your head from the high temp just as much as you are the low temps. So very
Yeah.
cool. And I liked how you guys talked about building a ritual. Because I think that's really important with a lot of people, and especially in sauna culture. They have their Sunday afternoon sauna, or they have their Friday night sauna, or whatever it is. But they have that one that they look forward to, and there's probably a ritual that goes with it. And if we can incorporate, those mindfulness, breathing, relaxation, incorporate that into your routine. And it doesn't even have to be sauna. It could be getting up in the morning and getting ready for work. But if you incorporate that into your routine, you're telling your body, hey, it's time for that routine. So I like that.
Yeah. Sauna is a good tool for that. And when we do speak about the treatments in sauna, it's also because sauna is basically in the beginning when the human discovered it, it was based on the healing. So the healing traditions are taken in sauna because it's such a good environment for that. Our bodies are already really they are absorbing, or you can like easily they take the treatments well when you are in sauna. So that's why we use a lot of like whisking treatments to activate the lymphatic system and activate the blood circulation. So what sauna is doing by itself, it can be leveled up by taking these different treatments as well to the routines.
Just came to my mind that there's a lot, I get a lot of contacts from people who are, there's actually, I don't know how well you see there in Helsinki, Finland, but there's a lot of people from North America who actually come to, say, Finland, maybe Northern Europe in general, but come because of sauna. So these, have you had a lot of customers from North America, and what do you offer to these people?
We have had mostly we have customers from Japan and
United Kingdom, yeah.
yes, British people and Germans, but yes, also from North Americans, and some North American sauna builders come here and they want to go around saunas in Helsinki and Finland, in Tampere area. They want to see different type of. So there's a lot of new sauna building companies coming, but what we would like to see more people who more think about the content, what they can offer, not only the building and technical things, but what is the concept, how you can use it, and how you can make people's life better with that concept.
Yeah. And how to create these unique sauna experiences.
That's why I'd like to see more these. They are mostly men, or small group of men who come here, and I'd like to see that they would have couple women with them. They would think both sides. What is the service and content? Yeah,
but yeah. But was it the question about that? How we if some North Americans come to our events, how we handle with them?
What I was thinking was that because we, I feel I might be wrong, and please correct me if I am, but like everything you say sounds super appealing. It's very exciting, and I for one, I'm a typical more older than middle-aged man, so I don't like the treatments and stuff is something that I've been in, I've been treated, I've gotten the Ukrainian whisking, which is just unbelievable how intense the whole thing is and stuff, but like this salt and honey, the treatments, the clay, the peat and whatnot, the herbal stuff. I'm not used to it. And I think that we all share a view in this virtual room today that we all know that this is going to take off like crazy. You know, the men that come there to look at the, you know, the ventilation, you know, grills or whatever, you know, are going to be replaced by people who are serious about the sauna content. It will happen eventually, but we don't know when. But we sort of like have to switch this thing a little, you know. Again, I say this in every episode that we have, you know, the saunas are in the basements and people use them for only one round. So now we're talking about all these possibilities that we have. But how do we educate these people? And that's where you guys come along.
Yeah.
I think that it's eye-opening the experience Finnish sauna with us in our events from American people to really understand what is the concept and philosophy of a Finnish sauna culture, because it's not based on any rules. It's not based on requirements. It's really something where in our culture we learn to listen to ourselves through sauna.
At very beginning.
From the very beginning, we start going to saunas since we are 6 months old usually. So, and there is no rules that how hot the sauna should be, how long you should be there, even if you are a child. So what we tend to tell our kids is that if it's too hot, go to lower benches, or you can go out if you wish. So we kind of teach our kids that listen to your own body. So, and then you slowly learn to take responsibility of your own well-being. What is good for you today might be different tomorrow, because each sauna session is different depending of the day and hormones and everything. So when you really experience that it's based on only how you feel and what is good for you, it's something new, because the culture is so different. The whole way of living is so different, and sauna is in a very core of Finnish values.
Yeah, that's how we do it in Finland. How we teach how the culture is. We are growing into that culture. But if we want to raise awareness, for example, in markets that are not so familiar with saunas, it often comes through the science, for example, because of course, we know that people have been known for thousands of years what sauna or the heat or the sweating does to our bodies, but we have kind of forget it that it's like the original source is this sauna. And nowadays, when we have now this scientist made, so we have studies that we can show people that how to connect to take the sauna as the basic regular hobby, how you can like affect on your own wellness by that, and also this cold exposure is another thing. So slightly, I think the science will come and back up us on this, and that's why we can like slowly also make it the whole well-being aspect of sauna more wider through that.
I think that community around saunas are also important tool, because it's difficult to open up a new market if you start selling only private saunas for people, and people start going in saunas only by themselves, because the community is in a core of sauna culture. So I think if you want to open up the sauna business in US, I would pick up a couple cities, for example, New York or whatever, and then I would open up a couple big community saunas and run different type of events and content there and teach people there, and then when people come to sauna with the other people who they don't know, they meet people in very genuine way. what is unique. Where else do you meet random people nakedly or half nakedly, and you don't have any role, so you can tell that who is the CEO of the big company or whatever is people's role. People all are equal in a very unique way in sauna. And these kind of things we don't think that much, but they are very important if you want to engage the sauna audience and make people fall in love with the concept of sauna. We need to have this somehow this community sauna culture where we can teach audience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to have those treatments as part of that. There's a community sauna in Chicago that I've been to and enjoy going to. And I just heard last night from my friend at our party that one of the gentlemen we had introduced to it brought a coworker of his there to introduce him. And they were there, and there was a guy, a regular there, who was doing, I think, a salt and honey body scrub, and said, "Do you want one?" And that's kind of weird for a guy, but he's like, "Sure, I'll go for it." And he said he loved it.
And that's nothing new. The men's, we have been taking care with the salt and honey for 1,000 years. So it wasn't related to any are you a male or female. So for nowadays, it's I think it's this day is it's more the well-being, and these treatments are for women, but it's not.
And what's so I don't know much I've never done a salt and honey scrub. Have you guys ever done that?
No, I was just going to ask. I hope this is outside the sauna. My benches are going to be sticky.
No, yeah. So then you just wash them. It's easy to wash away. So honey and salt are really friendly for the benches as well.
We do events in the public saunas, and usually we cover up the benches with big sheets.
Yeah.
But still, it's very easy to wash away. It's totally different than using peat or clay. So it's easy to wash with the warm water. It doesn't ruin benches.
So you just get the honey. It doesn't matter what kind of a honey you are using, and then fine sea salts, and then you mix it. And I guarantee you that you're not going to use any other peelings after. So it's amazing.
And honey has that natural
they're
antimicrobial,
bacterial, and
nothing's going to grow on it. So I'll give it a whirl. I'll try anything twice.
You need
It's a good way to really listen to your body. If you do it in a sauna, this body scrub, then you do it especially really slowly and focusing on the joints because we know that all the toxins are there. So we want to release them and sweat them out during the sauna.
Now that you have back pain, you could use Sunny and Sunny and Halt. Salt and honey for your back. So ask somebody to do a scrub for your back. So I'm sure it will help, and you can leave it there for a while as you are in the sauna.
The only treatment that I ever had was a clay treatment. That's the only thing. Yeah. So I have two questions for you. First, we've been talking this a lot with a lot of people about, ad nauseum about Finland being the happiest country on earth, and obviously Finnish people don't really understand how that's even possible. But what's your take on the, what has sauna something to do with that idea of happiness? Could that be?
100% sure that it's related on that, because we get so happy in the little things because we are using sauna in a regular basis, and it's released so many feel good hormones, and also ease the stress, and it has many this well-being benefits. So I think it's definitely one thing why we consider here that we are happy people and studies
Yeah,
the little things.
that's actually that's a very good answer. I think it's the little things, and sauna,
Yes.
sauna is not luxury where we come from. And my second question is related in that way that now that if I stereotype as I always do, it's like it's a manly thing to start craving for a sauna, and then there's gonna be one, and the wives are not really, the men don't necessarily know either what they're used for, but the ladies sometimes can be pretty clueless. So how do we, as we've been talking about the North American sauna market, again, I'm coming back to the thing, this is like, what is the first step to get more women involved, more women interested in the sauna? Is that, again, I'm repeating my question sort of, but is that by, selling the idea of treatments, or what's the difference between men and women in this regard?
Yes, but there's many small things. One is facilities. So there's a little bit different requirements for with women. So it's not only the sauna as such, but it's the whole experience before the sauna, and then the sauna, and after sauna, and all those three different elements needs to work together. So there's women need more space for after sauna, the relaxation and the aesthetics of that environment too, and where you can put your makeup and everything after that, and how is air conditioning in that space. And it's a totally different process. When men come out from the sauna, they are ready to next thing, but women need to do a lot of stuff before they are ready to go dinner or something. So I think the facilities, but then also thinking about sauna as a well-being concept, and a little bit like a spa thinking there, so that you could have combined treatments and good food and healthy things, and maybe some yoga or stretching, and this type of elements, that it's a lifestyle, well-being lifestyle, not only.
I think sauna, as a word of sauna, it's not so familiar for people, but when we start to talk about the well-being and we connect sauna to that, it's more easier to understand the content.
Yeah.
And there's boom of these new communities. There's a lot of different type of sauna communities, and small communities. After pandemic times, there's from 3 to 10 people groups. They have these own sauna communities. Like we have this. I have one sauna community with my 4 friends, so we are sauna sisters. So we go around the different saunas, and I think this type of well-being communities should be established around the sauna. Yeah. But it's not only sauna, it needs to be combined with other well-being elements.
Yeah, and I can see that, because offering just, hey, come sauna, and there's no camaraderie, or there's no anything else. Yeah, I can see where it's going to be very hard for someone, especially new to sauna, to say what's the benefit here. That's all we're going to do is get sweaty and then go home. That's that to me, on face value, would be a tough sell. Obviously someone who's into sauna knows that there's probably going to be some more. So, word to the wise, the people that you're trying to introduce to sauna, make sure they know it's an event. It's not just, hey, we're going to come over and sauna and be done, and it's, this is going to be something fun, and we're going to, teach you and go along the way. But, and I was very fortunate, growing up I had a great sauna that was at a gym, but we're talking about central Minnesota where sauna culture, is at least a little bit more accepted. Where it was a communal sauna, so co-ed, but it was outside of the locker rooms. It wasn't anywhere near the locker rooms, and it had a big glass front that kind of you could see through a couple other windows and see outside and things like that. So it felt a lot more welcoming, and I felt like men and women shared the space very well. But you're still going to have the 6 or 7 old guys that are there every morning, at 8 because that's just their spot.
Yeah.
But it was always nice because I think it wasn't this dark hidden away thing. And I think for home personal saunas, I like a darker sauna. It's a more meditative, relaxed, a less light. But I can see where, hey, that might not be the most welcoming space for someone who's new or is by themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see where the need for some, transparency exists for that.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Well, so I'm curious. So you mentioned using public saunas in Helsinki or Helsinki. I've always pronounced it the American way. So I'm curious, like, I don't know if this question will get you into trouble at all, but what's your favorite public sauna in Helsinki and then maybe in Finland more broadly?
Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe in Finland we need to say this Rajaportin sauna, which is like the oldest public sauna in Finland, is the best. But in Helsinki, well, there's different kind of saunas. So I think they have different, several good things. But what do you think? Where we can fit everything? Do you think? What do you have?
No.
No.
Maybe quite new. There's a hotel called Valo. They have on the rooftop of the hotel. They have the log saunas, and that is maybe nowadays the nicest concept because.
Oh yes, the concept is great. Yeah.
There you can go to traditional Finnish sauna in a modern environment on a rooftop. So I think it's very important that you get a fresh air between the sauna sessions, so you can get that. And there's cold plunge, and there's pools and many saunas. I think that is one of the best. But
I think the combination is because they have a gym there. So if we want to combine the sports and the sauna, it's easy. If we want to come there and just relax, there's a lot of space just to cool down and then have a lot of space there. So that concept is really working because it's really took this wellness in overall to the sauna.
And how do you spell the name? How do you spell the name of that hotel?
It's
Valo.
Yeah.
Valo.
Yes, it's light in English.
Yeah.
Light.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have to be a customer. You don't have to stay at the hotel to be able to use. Okay, but that's awesome. That's great. I'm losing touch as we speak, most clearly. We are coming to our 5 last minutes of this discussion. So let's talk about that book a little more that you guys have there. So if a person in North America wants to buy a copy, where he or she should go?
Book is called Sauna Therapy. This is the Finnish version, but it looks exactly the same, but it's called Sauna Therapy, Recipes for Wellbeing. And you can order it from web shop, from Cedar at Stone, Sauna, or what is it? Maybe you can put it in in there.
We'll definitely plug the link below.
Yeah, thank you. So that is the one and only place you can order it from in the United States.
And of course, if you're like really interested about the well-being aspect that you can relate to sauna, then just follow us on Instagram. We have a lot of content in English because we are providing the content in both in Finnish and in English. So for example, in Instagram or Facebook, it's Terhen Sauna. that you can follow us and learn a lot from this sauna therapy and the health benefits of taking sauna.
And I want to
The-
mention, Eero, you said that in 1980s you went to that hotel in Helsinki and there was this washer lady, bather. So we actually have 2 bathers working for us at the moment. Three, yes. And they are working in the Finnish Sauna Society every week. So you
Okay.
can these traditional Finnish sauna treatments, like the individual treatments. They do the whole body scrub with honey and salt, and there is this whole body washing massage in a traditional way. And if you are not member or if you don't have friends as a member in Finnish Sauna Society, then you can go to this oldest public sauna in Helsinki, Kotiharju. So
Mhm.
every other Sunday, our bather is doing treatments. So
Yeah, that's
we really want to keep this tradition alive and bring it back. And have to say that people are really excited and treatments are quite booked. So it's been successful.
yeah, that's on my bucket list of sauna things to experience. It's a little weird though, as a North American. That's a weird concept. But you know, once you head down that sauna trail of experiencing things, it's like, well, I'll try it, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
You,
Yeah,
you find
it's
something
definitely
really common there. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
looking forward to it. I can't wait to come. We'll make sure to put all the links below to all the fun stuff that we talked about today. Eero, what closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are that this it's so great to talk about saunas because there's so much you learn by every discussion. We had a discussion with the gentleman who used to live in Russia, and he wrote a book about the banyas that he went, and that's actually, you know, one of the most watched shows that we've ever had this thing, and you know, I've been using banyas for, you know, a quarter of a century now, but it's like there's so much more to that. There's always so much more to the culture. And that's so exciting, and kind of we can't stress enough the fact that you know, the 2 words that we're used today, nature and community. It's like I belong to a sauna community, you know, but that's not the first thing, and I have to, you know, I have to get my sauna to a second level. You know, again, I've only experienced clay in my long life, so it's like this and one thing, and I also learned from you guys, was that that you suggest that you should start your sauna by eating something salty.
Yes.
And I never thought about that. Never ever did it occur to me that I should do something like that.
Good.
Always a good snack. I love it.
Yeah. Sauna
No.
and snacks there. Like, good click.
Ladies, thank you so much for being on the show today. You know, if there's anything that we can do to, you know, to help or promote or to, you know, spread the word, just let us know. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. It was great.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Kiitos.